It's Royal Rumble season, baby! Some say Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year, but as a wrestling fan, the Royal Rumble is one thing I always look forward to. It's my favorite premium live event. And it includes my favorite kind of match. 30 men, one winner, bodies yeeted out of the ring over the top rope left and right. This match can produce new stars, interesting stories, and can make the road to WrestleMania oh so sweet. However, sometimes the winner of the Royal Rumble isn't the right choice. Sometimes their road to WrestleMania can be a bit weird, and sometimes they were just the wrong person at the wrong time. And let's say there is a great winner, occasionally their WrestleMania payoff will be underwhelming. It's unfortunate for someone to win the Rumble without really benefiting from it. So let's take a look at the 10 Royal Rumble winners who were probably better off having a different road to WrestleMania. Hope you enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like if you do, and maybe even subscribe. Let's kick this list off with number 10, The Rock. Now hear me out, The Rock was the right person to win the Rumble in 2000 and go on to WrestleMania for sure, but boy was it an interesting journey. Firstly, The Rock technically shouldn't even have won the Royal Rumble, because when The Rock pulled Big Show to the floor, The Rock's feet hit the ground first. The camera angle wasn't shown at the time. Then even after The Rock won, Big Show came back out and cut The Rock's promo off and tossed him out of the ring like it was nothing. Okay. Big Show would then go on to prove he should have actually won, which led to a match with The Rock, and Big Show won the title shot against Triple H at Mania. Then The Rock was back in, and then it got made a triple threat. Alright, that's fine, but then it got made a damn fatal four-way because Mick Foley got added into the mix. The whole story going in was that there would be a McMahon in every corner, featuring Vince, Stephanie, Shane, and Linda McMahon, which Vince would betray The Rock at the end, and Triple H retained his WWE Championship. Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Although this whole angle didn't ruin The Rock's credibility or anything like that, it definitely was a complicated road to WrestleMania. Number 9, Shinsuke Nakamura. Just like The Rock, Shinsuke was a great pick to win the Royal Rumble. The crowd loved it. There was a story already right in front of us with the WWE Champion at the time being AJ Styles. We were gonna get a classic at WrestleMania just like their amazing match at Wrestle Kingdom a few years before. Unfortunately, the match didn't live up to the hype. Okay, that's our bad. But the match was still okay. Then Nakamura would turn heel. Okay, interesting. Let's see where this goes. Styles and Nakamura would have several pay-per-view matches, and wow did they do this rivalry dirty. The main focus of their feud wasn't even the WWE title really. It's mainly remembered for how many times Shinsuke would hit AJ in the dick. Yep, Shinsuke would never reach the heights he should have. While there's still time in his career for a world title run, the 2018 Royal Rumble would have been the perfect place to start that journey. Number 8, Alberto Del Rio. Ah yes, the largest Royal Rumble with 40 men instead of 30, and no, I don't count that greatest Royal Rumble with 50 guys as an official Royal Rumble. Anyways, with 40 guys, the 2011 Royal Rumble surely was a spectacle, full of excitement and opportunity for all the guys on the roster. Turns out adding 10 extra guys to that already long match doesn't make things more interesting after all. The first half of the match was a CM Punk show, as him and his new Nexus buddies eventually had the ring to themselves after gaining the numbers advantage. Then the John Cena effect would kick in, as he eliminated all of the new Nexus and even CM Punk himself. Speaking of John Cena, out of 40 men, there was maybe like 4 at most that could have realistically won the match. Alberto Del Rio was the one to do so, and it was a good opportunity to make a star out of Del Rio. But Del Rio would go on to WrestleMania 27 and unsuccessfully challenge Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. He also had his car destroyed by Edge and Christian afterwards. Alberto Del Rio would actually benefit more from winning the Money in the Bank briefcase instead of the Rumble. Looking back, especially considering the reputation Del Rio has built for himself outside the ring, Alberto Del Rio is really one of the more less notable Royal Rumble winners. The most notable takeaway I got from watching the 2011 Rumble match was how irritating Michael Cole was during his Miz simp phase. Like, holy crap, he wouldn't shut the fuck. Number 7, Charlotte Flair. The 2020 Women's Royal Rumble match was very solid. Lots of potential winners, surprises from legends, NXT stars. There were many women who deserved to win the 2020 Rumble match. Shayna Baszler would enter at number 30 and dominate the field, and it looked like they were building her as the next big threat for the gold. However, it was not gonna be her time, as Charlotte Flair would eliminate her and come out on top. Charlotte was already an established member of the women's division and had been women's champ numerous times before. Baszler should have 100% won that Royal Rumble match, and that was proved even more so when Charlotte didn't even challenge the champion from Raw or SmackDown. She challenged Rhea Ripley for her NXT Women's title. Okay, that's a pretty interesting way to go about things. You could have Rhea showcased as a dominant champ and shine some light on oh wait, Charlotte beat Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 36. Madness. The booking is really questioning when you look back. They had 2 different chances to make 2 NXT women look like $1,000,000, but they had Charlotte just drive right through. Nothing against Charlotte Flair, she's one hell of an athlete, but damn, she could have won that thing any other year. Number 6, Batista in 2014. You have to feel bad for Big Dave here. Coming back after 4 years and winning the Royal Rumble should be a really cool thing, but that's not what the fans wanted. Daniel Bryan was the guy in the fans' eyes, and they wouldn't have it any other way. Bryan had a match against Bray Wyatt earlier in the night, so he wasn't in the match, and the fans were not happy. They turned on the match, and to be fair, everyone knew that Batista was probably gonna win it. Annoyed that we were gonna get Batista versus Randy Orton in a WrestleMania main event in 2014, the fans let their voices be heard in the form of the Yes movement, and Daniel Bryan would have one of the most exciting journeys to the main event of WrestleMania 30. Definitely not the plan WWE had in mind. Batista's main event would be turned into a triple threat match with Daniel Bryan coming out as the star of the show. Batista's Royal Rumble win was predictable and unfortunately not what the fans wanted at the time. It led to one of the best WrestleMania main events though, so hey, that's something. Number 5, Randy Orton in 2017. 2017 had a star-studded lineup of talent competing in the Royal Rumble match. Now Randy Orton wasn't the worst choice to win, but there were definitely a few other options they could have gone with. The win boosted Orton's stats as one of the few people to have multiple Royal Rumble wins, and he was aligned with Bray Wyatt at the time, and Bray would win the WWE title at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So of course, Randy Orton would then turn on Bray Wyatt, setting up their WrestleMania 33 match. The match itself was, interesting to say the least, and looking back, it probably should have been the other way around, with Bray Wyatt becoming a big star by winning the Rumble match, and then they could have Orton win the title at Elimination Chamber. They had a chance to make a star, even 2 if they kept Luke Harper involved, but Randy Orton would win the title and go on to have a long feud with Jinder Mahal, and let's just not go down that road anytime soon. An alright winner of the Rumble match, but ultimately a wasted opportunity to make a new star in Bray Wyatt. Plus, I'm pretty sure the majority of the cheers when Orton won was just because it wasn't Roman Reigns, the poor big dog. Number 4, Yokozuna. Yokozuna was pushed as a monster heel leading up to the 1993 Royal Rumble. He entered at the now lucky number 27 and won the thing. He wasn't a bad choice to win really, it's just the way everything happened. He won because Macho Man Randy Savage laid on top of him after hitting his signature elbow drop, and Yokozuna just yeeted him from the mat over the top rope and to the floor. I'm all for a goofy elimination from time to time, but the final one? Sheesh. Yokozuna earned the right to challenge Bret Hart for the WWE title at WrestleMania 9, and he won the championship in an okay match. Then for some reason, Mr. Fuji decided to have Yokozuna challenge Hulk Hogan right after, and he put the title on the line. Hogan won in like 30 seconds because, I don't know, America. Yokozuna would win the title back at King of the Ring after a camera blew up in Hulk Hogan's face. Like I mentioned, a solid guy to win the Rumble, but boy, from the final elimination onward, it was rough. Number 3, Lex Luger. In my opinion, this was kind of the turning point for Lex Luger's WWE career, and I don't mean that in a good way. At the 1994 Royal Rumble, there was not 1, but 2 winners. Lex Luger and Bret Hart both tumbled over the top rope and hit the floor at the same time. Now this was the first time that it ever happened, so both men were declared the winner. Now Lex Luger's on this list and not Bret Hart, because both of these guys would have very different paths. At WrestleMania, Lex Luger, by no fault of his own, got outshined huge by Bret Hart. Luger would face off against Yokozuna first for the WWE title and lost via DQ after pushing special referee Mr. Perfect. A screwy finish to a slow match. Then later that night in the main event, Bret Hart would defeat Yokozuna to become WWE champion once more in his career. He even had an amazing match with his brother Owen Hart to kick off the show. Lex Luger wouldn't really be in the world title picture in WWE again. Moving on to a feud with Money Incorporated. Luger never reached the heights he should have in WWE, and Bret Hart definitely benefited more from the Rumble win. Number 2, Roman Reigns. In 2015, Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, and what is there to say that hasn't already been said? Let's look at some of the positives first. It led to a hard-hitting match at WrestleMania between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and then one of the biggest Money in the Bank cash-ins ever happened when Seth Rollins won the WWE title in the main event. Pretty solid stuff, but that's basically it. The boos in Philadelphia were loud and clear. They did not want Roman Reigns to win. There were superstars such as Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, and even Rusev that the WWE Universe would have rather had as their Rumble winner. But Daniel Bryan got eliminated pretty early on, and the last 5 minutes of the match was a drag, with Big Show and Kane slowly dumping out fan favorite after fan favorite. Then Roman Reigns fought back and eliminated them both. Even a run-in from The Rock couldn't weather the storm that was the Wells Fargo Center. At the time, WWE was pushing for Roman Reigns to be the guy guy, but the WWE Universe was greatly pushing back. Number 1, Vince McMahon. You know it's a wacky period of time when the owner of WWE, who's not even a wrestler, wins the Royal Rumble. But hey, that's the Attitude Era for you. Although Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble was just to fuel his rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin, it still is baffling that the boss won. Stone Cold and McMahon entered at numbers 1 and 2, and it didn't take long for things to spill to the outside. Before the Royal Rumble started, Mr. McMahon put a $100,000 bounty on Stone Cold. Austin was attacked by Vince's corporation in one of the bathrooms of the arena, so McMahon and Austin were out of the ring for the majority of the Rumble match. Austin would return to the Rumble and drag Vince back in so he could punish him in the final two. The Rock would come out to distract Austin, then him and McMahon dumped Stone Cold over the top rope to the floor. Mr. McMahon would give up his WrestleMania title match, cause duh. But Commissioner Shawn Michaels would give it to the runner-up, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Although it would lead to a great match at WrestleMania 15 with Stone Cold and The Rock facing off for the WWE title, the Rumble match itself was okay, mainly focusing on the outside shenanigans with Vince and Stone Cold. Plus, having a dodgy finish for one of the most anticipated matches of the year is a definite no-go. No matter how great the aftermath was, at the end of the day, a non-wrestler won a high-stakes wrestling match. Thanks for checking out this video. If you like it, then like the video, you silly goose. Who do you want to see win the Royal Rumble this year? Let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully the men and women's Royal Rumble winners will have better luck than the names on this list, and maybe we'll see some new stars born or great matches lined up for WrestleMania 38. Have a great rest of your day and or night. Consider subscribing to the channel, and bye-bye.